Fuzzy Belvedere, we got to get into the second topic. Now, this one has me very excited because it's what I've been waiting for. And topic 2, ladies and gentlemen, is an announcement from Avowed, the game. That's right. Obsidian put out a tweet at the end of last week. Again, there was just so much news. I did not get around to it. But if you are someone like me who absolutely adored every second of your time in Avowed and want more Avowed, well, I think we're going to get it in a big way. I think that this is a franchised game. This is going to be like Fallout. This is going to be like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. It's going to be like what you would expect from Bethesda. I think that this really hit or struck a nerve with RPG fans who are, of course, fans of Obsidian. And obviously, the Outer Worlds, they had one. At the end of the year, we're getting two. It looks to be even bigger and better than the original. And I would imagine that with the response of the community, the gaming community that actually played this game, I'm happy to see that they listened to our feedback. So let me just read to you. This is the updated roadmap, Fuzzy Belvedere and chat. And this is what they have. Now this is spring 2025, obviously, which is now. Everything on this list is live right now. And they have an arachnophobia safe mode, which I think is dope because there are a lot of spiders in this thing. I mean, a lot. And if you don't like spiders, you probably were like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. I don't like spiders. But now there is an arachnophobia safe mode, which I think is dope. I don't know if they're blobs like they are in Grounded. But again, this is the same developer. I like the fact that they are listening to the feedback of people that actually suffer from this. Like, if arachnophobia is a real thing, folks, and people get super freaked out by spiders, I love the fact that they are listening. Well, they added mouse and keyboard support for Xbox. If that's your bag, certainly not mine, but if it is yours, you can now play with a mouse and keyboard. There is an improvement to the fog of war, meaning that one of the things that I think drove poor Umbra crazy is that you had to get like super in a corner to get the fog to get off, and he wanted he's obsessive like that. And I don't blame him. He's a completist. That's okay. But I think they've made adjustments where if you're in the vicinity, you don't have to throw your character into a corner and then get stuck, right? To break out the fog of war. They have added more gold and crafting materials. That's really good. I like that they added that. Soul pods will now dispel illusions. As well as unique gear improvements, which I think they definitely needed to do some improvements to the gear. So, Fuzzy, I want to move on to what is expected to be released this summer, 2025. Here is the listing, folks. Cooking and crafting improvements. There's going to be new NPC abilities and behaviors, new active and passive abilities, which is awesome. New unique weapons and armor. Yes. And and this is a big one. It's subtle, but it is a big one, especially if you are looking for particular things and you know where they are on the map. Custom map markers. I think that is huge. Again, it's quality of life stuff. It may not mean anything to someone that's just gonna A-line it. And I don't care about the NPCs. I don't care about my armor. I just want to kill things. And they just want to do their story and be done in 12 hours. That maybe none of this matters to you. For people like me and Umbra, it matters because a lot of the stuff is like the improvements that need quality of life improvements that you want. Here is what I was hoping would be in the front. Unfortunately, it's on the back end, and we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Fall 2025. Here is what is happening, and I like it. First of all, I have been calling for this, folks. You watched the channel. You know this is already my game of the year. It's still my game of the year, and to wait till the end of the year to get this. The new Game Plus. This is something that did not launch with this game when it came out at the beginning of the year in February. But they heard our cries and our pleas, and they are responding in kind by adding it by the end of the year. There is going to be, and this is another big one, is it really necessary? No. But Obsidian listens to the fans. They're adding a photo mode. Yes, for the gaming gods. Yeah. We can take photos. I love it. Now there's going to be a new weapon type. Now, it doesn't say types, meaning there's going to be multiples, Fuzzy, but there's a new weapon type. What that is, I don't know. Changing appearances in the world. I like that.
Yeah.
New character presets, which I think is good for people that want more choice. More godlike features present. Okay, that's fine. There is one additional thing that they have not added. I have not seen it in here, and I do wish that it actually happened. So, like in Expedition 33, you got to be super careful when you go to your camp, because if you go to your camp to reset your health and everything, the world resets. Mm-hmm. So you go back, if you're going past, you have to go past something that was like a real pain in the ass to beat. You got to think twice about that, because you will have to fight it again. What I wish Avowed would add, and I know that people from Obsidian listen to the channel. I've been told this, and I cannot thank that team enough for actually listening to this small ass podcast. But I wish that every time you went to the camp, the bad guys respawned, because you would be able to level up, you'll continue to level up your characters and your companions, and that's not listed here. I hope that they do at least add it at some point, or at least add it to its sequel. Fuzzy, let's get your thoughts on all of these updates.
Well, they don't have the enemy reset, but they do where you can pass time. I don't know if doing a full day wait at the camp, because I guess that was one of the things that they put on their website, but they didn't put into the bullet points and stuff like that.
Okay.
I think that might help with like if you want to just constantly level up like certain weapons or your character in an area, and just get those enemies to respawn and just have at it a few times.
Yes.
I think you might be able to do it, but you'll have to do like a pass time type of thing.
Awesome.
But the big things are, well, it's not a big thing, but it's one of those fan asks features, being the photo mode coming this fall. Definitely looking forward to that. And as you've been saying, the new Game Plus, which gotta wait till fall, but definitely a perfect time for a replay or another playthrough kind of thing. Being able to keep all of your abilities as opposed to starting a new type of thing and just build from there. There were a couple of other ones that I'm looking forward to. So I think it is great, like you said, for the arachnophobia mode. It is going to be like orbs or blobs, kind of like what Grounded had.
Yes.
So they hey, that's going to be one of those things they could probably patent as their own tech. But yeah, that's a great thing for those that are a bit squeamish about spiders, because there is quite a few that can be annoying in this game. But I use those to just get materials and level up and stuff like that. But the Fog of War, that was a big one, because I have that same OCD aspect with the map. It's like I gotta, like, there's a point in one of the towns where it's like trying to get behind the building.
Yes.
And actually there was a spider back there. And it's like,
is that the shanty town you're talking about? Yeah. Yes. You see? Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I'm like, what's back there? And it's like trying to get back there. It's like, so this will definitely ease my mind, getting through some of the towns and some of the areas where it's like, okay, I can't quite get there, or I haven't figured out the passageway that goes under the tunnel or under the ground or what have you. But the Fog of War stuff is cool. And then the fact that they're going to have it where you could do the custom markers, I think that's coming in the summer. Like after playing Shadows, where you have, I think it's 5 or 6 markers that you could place on the map. I kind of want that in my life now. Like much like what Avowed did with the quick switch for the weapon loadouts and things like that. The custom markers is another quality of life thing that needs to be in all RPGs moving forward type of deal. But the fact that this game I don't think they initially had any like DLC or any additional plans set for it, but the fact that it's done well within Game Pass, and the player count and player base has been so enthusiastic playing through this, they had to see that, yeah, there's enough of a fan base here to go ahead and, revisit some of the things that were, suggestions or critiques and such like that. And I'm glad that they're doing that. And hey, this definitely tells me that a sequel is in the future or in the cards for the future. But in doing this, we'll get to see what other things they might show us before they move to an Avowed 2 type of deal. But awesome game, making it even better for the fans. Hopefully it doesn't get snubbed at the Game of the Year announcements. I know one of the things that was in Game Pass with Expedition 33, that's pretty much a lock right now as far as being a nominee. Same thing with was it Splitgate?
Split Fiction.
Split Fiction. That one's probably also a lock for a nomination, but I think
Dude,
Avowed deserves to be in the conversation as well. But man, it's awesome to see Obsidian, taking care of the fans, continuously building on their titles. And we got Outer Worlds 2 to look forward to later on this year. Yeah, they're cooking. Like they are what we've always kind of compared them to, like Insomniac for PlayStation, how they've kind of carried PlayStation. Obsidian's been carrying a lot of the weight, and they've been knocking it out of the park with a lot of the stuff they've been doing. So happy to see that they get continued support for Avowed. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, the game is a banger. It really is. Again, maybe open world RPGs or open hub RPGs aren't your bag. If it's not, I get it. I hear, but I think most people that are RPG fans will happily admit that Obsidian is one of their favorite developers. Now, again, for me, I've said this numerous times. My favorite game from Obsidian was Fallout New Vegas. That has now moved to second place, and Avowed is my favorite Obsidian joint. And of course, they've made a lot of great games, but for me personally, I really loved every second about Avowed. And the reason why I loved it so much is I don't really watch other people's gameplay. That's not really my thing. I would rather actually play the game myself. But with that said, there is something to be said about watching other people's clips, which I did. And I wind up, there were a couple of times where I actually said to myself, did I play this game wrong? Because I originally picked to go to the build of a warrior, which is usually what I go, right? I usually like just give me a sword and a shield, and I just hack away and it's fine. And then I found out how amazing the magic it was, and how quickly you could just be a complete badass with the magic, right? So I switched everything. I respect everything, and I was like, of course I did have some, physical weapons, but I like the magic stuff. I like the wands, I like the books, I love all of it. So, but I watched some people play from even like using like from the archer point of view. I'm like, my God, that looks amazing. I didn't know you can do that. And it's this game. I've said this before in my review. I'll say it again. Avowed is the type of game that, depending on what you put into the game, is what the game will return to you, right? I think the more you put in, the more you get on the back end. So I'm happy to see that this had such a great response from the gaming community, not just from Xbox players. I mean, literally from the gaming community. There were a few people that the naysayers that just hate everything. I don't even know why they play games. It's ridiculous. Nothing's good enough for them. But I loved every second of it. I love the fact that a lot of the quality of life things that Obsidian has listed here are because we have asked for it. The new game plus and the photo mode, I really wish that was now, but at least it's been announced. And yes, we will be getting it on the back end of the year.